Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? I'm running a little bit later than usual, and I haven't gone in to call my weight recorder to get my report, but I'm pretty sure I'm down this week, and that makes me feel really, really good. Life happens, and this has been a hectic morning. But I'm here now and everything's doing good. And what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this morning is one of the wellness programs that TOPS came out with a few weeks ago that really intrigued me and got me to thinking about why sometimes we choose the things we choose as opposed to things that might serve us better and head us in the direction that we really want to go. I know I'm champing at the bit here, eager to participate fully in chapter meetings again, and knowing that this may take a little bit more time than we anticipated, but anxious to see it happen. And because of that, I have been a little bit at odds with myself, sort of like, will this ever happen? How much longer do I need to wait? All those kinds of thoughts. I have found that I am getting more and more impatient as things seem to be improving, just not according to my timeline and my schedule. There are others, of course, that are a little bit more cautious and a little more hesitant. And we all have different ways of approaching things and dealing with things. And so this program really hit home to me. It's called the Take 5 Bowl, and I don't know if you saw it, if you subscribe to that news feed through the TOPS website, but you certainly can. It appears every week, and it always has some helpful information for all of us. So it's the wellness newsletter, and I truly recommend it for everyone as you're working your journey. And basically what this is all about is a very simple concept. It's asking all of us to take 5 minutes to reflect before we make a choice, whatever the choice is going to be. Sometimes if you can just delay an action a little bit, it gives you time, like we were talking the other day, to lean into the issue and breathe through it and make an informed choice. And this is a great exercise with that in mind. And basically what it asks you to look at are you hungry? Are you bored? Are you stressed out? Or are you just anxious about something? And that's why you're wanting to sort of knee-jerk your response and go get something to eat to help you cope, to help you deal with what's going on. I think a lot of us tend to do that kind of mindless eating at times. You know, you just grab something for whatever the reason may be. And you're truly not hungry. It's for some other reason, and you need to take that 5 minutes to sort of reflect before you make the actual action step and commit to your choice. It's pretty much an easy thing to set up, sort of like 1, 2, 3. First of all, you find a big bowl. And I think all of us have a big bowl back in one of our cupboards that we don't use very often. And you place that bowl where you would normally probably go looking for snacks. I don't know where that is in your house, but I certainly know where it is in my house. And so I drug out a bowl, a pretty bowl actually, that I don't use very much because it's a little too big for making most things, but it was perfect for this use. And I placed this bowl in the place where when my grandkids come to visit, there are always snacks available. Not always the best choices, bad grandma, but usually some good choices and some not so good choices. Anyway, this was an empty bowl. And I thought, okay, I'm going to fill this bowl with items that will help me deal with whatever I'm needing help with. When I'm tempted to grab something and eat it, I can grab something out of this bowl, and here's the trick. Leave the kitchen for 5 minutes with this item in my hand. Now, the bowl is filled with some interesting things right now. I've got some sugar-free gum in it. I've got a toothbrush. I've got some positive affirmations that I've written down on some cards, and that took some time and was actually fun to do. I've got a bottle of water in there. I've got a picture of some fresh veggies, and I have fresh veggies in the refrigerator ready to go just in case as well. And then I added some other things in there. I put a food journal in there so I can jot down what I'm thinking at the time. There's a puzzle in there. I love puzzles of all kinds, and there's a Sudoku book in there. There's a deck of cards in there because, you know, sometimes you just need to keep your hands busy, and if you play a game of solitaire or something like that, that'll help you take a few minutes to think. There's something to do for exercise in there. I've got a couple little reminders to play a couple exercise videos that I keep handy and plugged in, so I just need to push a button and do the exercise. I even have one on my computer that takes 5 minutes, which is just perfect. I can start playing that, get up out of my desk chair, and do what I need to do for those 5 minutes. And a lot of times, whatever the issue was has resolved itself in my head as I've been busy for 5 minutes. Also, I have a garden trowel in there to remind me I can always go out and play in the dirt and get some fresh air and some sunshine, and that definitely always helps. And then I have a leash in there, not because I have a dog, but my next door neighbor does, and he's not up to walking the dog very often. And I could just go over there and say, hey, would you like me to take Brutus for a walk? And I can get out and walk up and down the street with him. He's an old bulldog and he doesn't move fast, but it's a way to give him a little bit of exercise, help my neighbor out, and help me out as well. So these are some things that are in this great big bowl in the kitchen that I can just go to instead of just opening the refrigerator or the cupboard door, hoping for divine inspiration on something to get me focused on a more positive way of moving. And it's actually something that I tried this week, and it's been quite helpful. Interestingly enough, if I chew gum, I certainly don't want to eat because that's yucky. That's just yucky. And if I've brushed my teeth, I don't want to eat because I like the feeling of my mouth being really, really clean. Also, one of the things that I put in there was contacting a friend. I have a list here of friends in my Tops chapter that I can call and we can talk through things when we're struggling a little bit, and that's always helpful. It's just a matter of deciding that you're going to take this action instead of eating. And that's the challenge, I think, is making up your mind that you're going to take a positive step rather than go to a negative step. And that's going to be your choice always. It's going to be my choice always. What we choose to do instead of going to food when we're not hungry. It doesn't make us bad people if sometimes we do use food, but we need to do it with awareness and we need to own it when we do it. Anyway, I've had a week of using this bowl to make my options much more readily apparent to me, and it has produced the desired results. I don't just keep going back thinking the content of the cupboard or the content of the refrigerator is magically changed. Since I looked in it 15 minutes ago, I now have other things I have decided I will do instead. And that's important. What are you willing to do instead of? What action will you take instead of? These are benchmarks we need to revisit on a regular basis, especially in those times when we get a little bit frustrated or impatient with ourselves and the way our lives are progressing. Another thing that I have really been thinking about is what it's going to be like when we go back to chapter. What good things are we going to take back to chapter with us that we have experienced and learned during this time of isolation? And one of the things that I really hope we will be taking back to our chapter, and I'm pretty confident we actually will take this back, is the willingness to reach out to each other in a positive way throughout the week, to do check-ins with each other. We all know that the journey we're on does not happen in 1 hour, 1 day a week. It is a commitment every day during every waking moment. We have to make thousands of choices in that week, hundreds of choices every single day. And hopefully 90% of those choices are going to be positive and head us in the right direction. And I have learned how much we can help each other in making good choices without judgment, without criticism, without ridicule, but also by enabling positive behavior and not encouraging inappropriate choices that really are not the best decisions we can make. And then helping people get back on track when they stumble. We're all going to stumble and fall. If you've ever learned to do anything in your life, you know you just don't wake up one day and do it. At least I didn't wake up one day and do it. When I learned to ride a bicycle, when I learned to roller skate, when I learned to swim, I had to go through a process. And that process took time, took commitment, took encouragement and support from others who could help me and from whom I was willing to accept help. And it took the willingness to practice, to train myself to do the thing I wanted to do. Same thing was true when I learned to play the piano. I was not the kid that just sat down and made beautiful music. I sat down and struggled playing chopsticks. But with practice, I learned. With encouragement, I learned. I changed, I grew, I developed new skills. We can do that in the weight loss journey too. I know some of my friends were talking with me the other day about being concerned about the COPS status. Well, that's part of the journey. COPS is, as much as we wish it could be, becoming a COPS is not a happy ever after land. Rick has spoken to that many times very eloquently. You know, his favorite saying is, I like being a COPS so much, I've done it 6 times. And that is part of the learning process. We need to learn instead of being discouraged if we stumble and fall there as well. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just shows in this area at this time. We have things we need to learn and strengthen and develop more. And the next time we'll be stronger for it until we get to the place where we have retrained, reprogrammed, and reestablished a positive relationship with food. So as much as I am frustrated with not being able to get right back to meeting as soon as I wanted to, I am delighted that I've had this time to think and reflect on the journey. I hope you're taking this time as well to find ways to help you, that you're getting that 5-minute break to reconsider your choices on a regular basis. That's a gift you can give yourself, is that 5 minutes just to pause and reflect. So I guess let's not go stampeding in a great big rush, and I'm saying that to me now more than to you, to get back to meeting. Take a breath, relax, know that it will happen, know that we are moving forward to the places we want to be. I am so glad so many of you join me. I love the positive messages that you give me as I am talking with you. I cannot tell you how much every Monday you lift my spirits so high. I want you to have an awesome day. It's sunny here. It's going to get hot a little bit later. So get out and about if you possibly can. Give somebody else a smile. If they aren't smiling, they need one of yours. And you have a great day. Love you dearly and talk to you later. Bye-bye.